Here to talk about the latest on immigration reform, I'm joined by a key senator, Republican Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee. He and Senator Hoeven brokered the border security deal that is expected to help gain Republican support for this Gang of Eight immigration reform bill. Senator, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jake. Good to be with you.
So let's first talk about this agreement. 20,000 new Border Patrol agents, a 700-mile fence, E-Verify system. But what about those who overstay visas? A senior demographer at the Pew Hispanic Center told me he estimates a little over 40% of the 11 million in the U.S. illegally came into the U.S. legally and overstayed their visas, as opposed to those who snuck across the border. What does this amendment or this bill in general do to stop that kind of illegal immigration?
Right. So prior to a green card, Jake, which is 10 years out, the exit visa program has to be fully in place. You're exactly right. I mean, that's been a big problem. The measure does have some interior security issues to go along with that, but that is the fourth trigger, if you will, in this bill does provide that the exit visa system has to be fully in place. And I thank you for bringing that up because that's been a flaw in the past.
This agreement is meant to shore up Republican support. I want to play something that your colleague, Republican Senator Jeff Sessions, said just a little while ago.
We've got to study this amendment. I don't know what's in it and what it'll accomplish, but it doesn't seem to me to accomplish many of the key issues that I've talked about all along.
Are you still trying to convince senators like Sessions, or do you think some are just lost causes at this point?
You know, Jake, on every issue, you get a sense of those people that are trying to find their way to support a piece of legislation and those people that, you know, candidly, regardless of what's in the bill, likely are not going to support it. So, you know, not to speak specifically to the senator, you know, we've got a pretty good sense of those people who'd like to see us solve this immigration problem, but want to see the border secured, and that's why we put this effort together. And it sounds like, I do hope Senator Sessions will read this legislation. It's going to be available here in the next few hours. It's being vetted right now on both sides. But it really does. I mean, for those people whose issues, and he may be talking about others, those people whose issue has been border security, I just cannot imagine how you could see something being put in place that is stronger than what this legislation will call for.
How many future undocumented workers do you think will be able to get into this country under this bill with this new amendment? Do you have any sort of number?
Yeah. So I think the border will be secure. There will be always, I mean, I think in any country, Jake, you have people who make it in through the country. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. We have a vast border, and as you know, this is mostly focused on the southern border, not on the northern border. But I think one of the key elements for us is to also improve our legal immigration component. I mean, that's one of the reasons we have so many undocumented workers today. People have come here, they want to be here to work in this great nation, and we haven't really had the appropriate levels and ways for people to come in legally. So the bill goes a long way, not our amendment, but the base bill goes a long way towards dealing with that issue. Candidly, I'd like to see us have even more legal immigration, and candidly, I'd like to see a little bit more interior security. So if we're able to pass this amendment and pass the bill out of the Senate, it's my hope that the House can make improvements. That's why we have two bodies here. Hopefully that will occur, and by the time, if something comes back from conference, we'll have a bill that's even better than the one that leaves the Senate.
How many Republican senators do you think will vote for this amendment and the bill in general if it's part of it?
Yeah, I think, you know, Jake, I think a good number, okay? I kind of hate to project specifically how many. I know that we've gotten a very good response. We've added co-sponsors to the amendment itself, but I think, you know, again, this has got to stand the test of time. People will be looking at it over the weekend. They've all seen, many of the senators have seen summaries, but I think we're going to garner a good deal of support, and I think that will add a lot of momentum to this bill and solve the problem that so many people in Tennessee and across this country have, which is the issue of dealing with border security. We haven't had those inputs in the past, and as you know, as you read out on the first of the program, those inputs all have to be in place before a green card status can be achieved.
With this deal in place, are you willing to place any bets on the chances that immigration reform will not only make it through the Senate, but through the House?
You know, Jake, I found in life that the best way to be successful is really to focus on the task at hand and do it in the best way that you can. Right now, we obviously need to close this amendment out, get it on the floor, get it voted on. I do think that if we can pass this amendment with these tough border security measures, I think it does add a lot of momentum on the House side. I think it adds to the probability of something passing out of the House, but I would never predict what might happen in another body.
All right, Senator Bob Corker,
Thank you.
Republican of Tennessee, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jake.